They say university makes students. Here, students make university. So with the slogan of Think Big, I, Himanshu Kaushik, your host of the day, would like to welcome you all in today's webinar on electronics technology for futuristic healthcare system. And I hope that you all are doing fine, safe, sound, and happy at wherever you're taking this session/webinar from. So before we move on and learn a lot more about the technologies that has recent advancements in the healthcare system, we have our expert here with us. So I shall introduce you to our expert. We have Dr. Bhavesh Kumar Dharmani. He is an associate professor and coordinator at Signal and Image Processing domain in School of Electrical and Electronics Engineering in lovely Professional University here with us. He has done his full-time PhD from Dhirubhai Ambani Institute of Information and Communication Technology, that is DAIICT. And after years of teaching experience, and he has been a visiting scientist at Interdisciplinary Statistical Research Unit, that is ISRU, and Indian Statistical Institute, that is ISI Kolkata. He has more than 16 years of teaching experience with 5 years post-PhD as well. And he has around 13 research publications and 8 patents published under his name already. His current research focus is on achieving robustness in machine and deep learning algorithms for healthcare applications, collaborating the concepts of signal processing, robust statistics, and machine learning. And his research interests includes blind source separation, tensor decompositions, robust statistical divergences, kernel-based non-parametric estimations, machine and deep learning, evolutionary algorithms, and many more. So, sir, we are all obliged here, and it is a pleasure for us to be able to see you in the webinar. And with this, I would like to welcome you and sincerely welcome you in the webinar, sir. And before I request you to take over the screen, I want all the participants to know that now you can post your queries, your questions in the chat box or the Q&A box, or at the end of the session, you can raise your hand even so that you can talk to our expert directly. So with this, sir, I hand over the screen to you and looking forward for an amazing session.
Yeah, thank you. And welcome to all the students and parents or researchers or teachers in various fields. And so welcome to this talk on electronics technology for futuristic healthcare systems, right? So what we are going to discuss first is about what we mean by futuristic healthcare systems, right? And then we'll look at what is the role of electronics technology into making this or maybe establishing in the true sense the futuristic healthcare systems, right? So let's start with, so first we'll focus on the futuristic healthcare system, right? So before that, I'll actually explain the generations mutually, how the healthcare system is progressing gradually, right? So you are aware of actually mobile generations like 2G, 3G, 4G. So these are all generations in mobile communications. Actually, the healthcare technology generations also go almost parallelly, adding few more dimensions. They are affected by the communication technology. So if I say healthcare technology generation 1, okay, not able to, just once again. Yeah. So technology, healthcare generation 1, what do we mean by that? So basically it leads to actually that is a traditional model. That is a traditional model. When we say, what does it mean? That is actually when the disease comes, first the person is diseased and then you try to cure it. There is a traditional model. You have to go physically to the doctor and doctor will do the checking and then assign some medicines or diagnostic test or whatever further, right? So that has to be, and then so there is actually a limited scope of the technology. Just hold on. There is a call which is maybe important call, maybe. Just hold on. Sorry. Yes. Sir, I'm busy in, actually I'm busy in webinar. Sorry, I thought there was some feedback from the webinar, who is handling the webinar. It was almost similar number looking. Anyway, so we were talking about the healthcare generation one, right? So that will be basically a traditional model where we are fast treating the, means first there is a disease coming and then we are trying to, that is prevent that, basically based on that is cure that by meeting a physically a doctor, right? So you can see this actually, there is no proactive actions, basically this is a reactive. First there is a disease and then you try to cure it. So basically it is reactive. Many times it will be episodic, that is frequently occurring, but we cannot do anything in that case. So that's what the generation one. Okay. Then came the generation two. Basically, you can parallel it with the addition of generation two in communication technologies, like mobiles entered, right? So once there was mobile, what was the difference actually? You can see now, that is once mobile came, now that is that electronic records or patient records could be forwarded directly via message or WhatsApp, or that is through that it could be that is passed on to the doctors directly, right? Somewhat digitization helped basically, right? So basically this is integration of technology and digital things. Yeah, that is yes. So this is technology and basically it is digitization that help, right? Electronic health recording that could be kept. Okay, that means all digital imaging records and that could be passed on through mobile networks or maybe via mobile network, that is text messages, like initially there were pages. Fine. So overall that improved little bit about the efficiency, reduce medical errors. Maybe one can refer to the previous records also, something like that. Okay. The time that has to be, when one has to go physically to just get the records from the pathology lab and then it will be passed on to the doctor, instead of now directly that the pathology lab could be directly passing on the records to the doctor, right? So that will reduce the time, more efficient system would be there, right? So that was all about the healthcare generation 2.0, right? 2.0. Then there came the 3G network. And yes, actually, when I'm using this pen, it's not moving anyway. So yeah, so now it is generation three, basically. So, 3G mobile, faster communication was possible, faster networks, right? So there are many internet speed that has been improved, right? So there are, you can find there are lot many online platforms which are working based on telemedicine, right? So that is 1mg network is there, there is a Proacto is there, Liberate is there. There are many online platforms, right? Which are now working based on telemedicine concept and telemedicine concept. So that is now the consultations could be done online because now internet speed is good. Audio could be transmitted, steady images could be transmitted. Sometimes the stored video may not be sometimes a real-time video, but the saved video could be passed on, right? So that was the characteristic of the 3G network, and that affected the healthcare systems, more digitizations and more that is sharing of the medical records, medical data, right? Another basic important aspect of this healthcare third generation was from the medical viewpoint, that is actually increased awareness of the patients. Okay. Now, because there are already the diagnostic reports are available. Previously, only doctors would be able to understand what this record mean, what this medicine mean, right? But now you know that all the patients they try to understand what the record mean, right? When I say that the diabetes level is this, what is the actual reference and why it is so, what are the meaning of it, right? So what could be the consequences if I do this surgery, what are the pros, what are the cons, what could be the side effects, everything. If I take this medicine, what are the going to be the futuristic side effects, what is the immediate effect, what is the pathology, what is the histology, everything could be understood, and patients are being more and more aware of these things, right? So now the patient could not be ignored, and patients would be part of the decision-making system in this. So that was one of the major achievement of the healthcare generation 3, right? So if you see, characterize the notion of healthcare generation 3.0. So that is first one will be telemedicine is possible, remote counseling is possible now, right? Patient centric, that is a patient would become the part of the decision making process. Patient has awareness is increased, right? And beyond this, you can say now something that is uh, that is we are now moving towards more and more personalized or maybe predictive analysis, and we can have some sort of, if there is a there is a epidemic going on, what rate it would expand, what about the medical resources allocation, how they could be efficiently allocated, right? So the technology has been improved better. So the health technology that could be now passed on with a better efficiency, right? So that was about healthcare generation 3, right? So that would about the third generation mobile also in parallel to it 3.0 healthcare system, right? Now, if you move towards healthcare generation 4, right? 4.0. So I think you can now parallel it, you can extend it, whatever existing in mobile network 3.0, what are the addition to the mobile network 4.0, right? 4G networks are much more faster, much more bandwidth could be provided, right? Real-time transmissions of the medical records, medical disease diagnosis that is possible now, right? Online consultation could be real-time. Doctors can talk to the patients, right? They can actually look, visualize the patient, and they can also get the actual that is the physical of that is wherever the problems location, the point of care system could be much more better in that case, right? Also with this, there was parallelly many other technologies are evolving, right? One of the thing was IoT, that is Internet of Things. What we mean by Internet of Things? So till 3G network, you can imagine there was only internet services available, right? So everything you will go to the internet where computers, mobile phones are connected, that is smart devices are connected, right? Through the mobile network. But now with Internet of Things, things are something which were previously almost dead things like sensors, okay? Like heartbeat sensors, okay? What would be the heart rate, right? If you say pulse oximeter, right? So what is the oxygen level and heart rate that it measures, right? So that would be dumb. That means locally you can visualize, locally you can see what is the oxygen level and what is the heart rate. But with the advent of IoT, Internet of Things, these dumb devices, they become now active, right? The sensors are now active nodes basically, and they themselves can pass on their data to the cloud. That could be referred by any remote location throughout the world. That data is available on internet basically, cloud network basically, and that could be accessible with some permissions to anywhere throughout the world, right? So IoT enabled, you can see the complete world of sensor networks. That is, all the sensor outputs now could be accessed throughout the means doctors could access from the remote locations, right? That will be a very large addition to the actual services, right? Nowadays, there are a lot many variable sensors are there. Okay, so variable sensor technology has been added. So variable sensors would be, you will find there are many health parameters, right, which are based on physiological things, right, physiological activities, right. So they could be now sensed through the variable sensors wherever you go, wherever you move, and now still your variable sensors are connected to the cloud, right, your net, and they could be accessed from the remote locations, right? So that was about IoT technique, variable sensors, right? AI, artificial intelligence, machine learning, deep learning, they were all big. Means, see, this AI was already there. It was not that with the start of 4G only it was there. but it got immense power of computation, immense power of communication meanwhile, right? So that made it so much powerful, right? It can access lot big data, basically, large amount of data. And based on that, it can predict, right, what is the futuristic problem, or maybe early diagnosis is possible. That is, person maybe currently is not diabetic, but he has the symptoms of tendency towards getting diabetic. He has tendency towards getting cardiological problems, right? So this is early detection, futuristic predictions that could be progress possible, right? So these are all advent, the new technology that was incorporated, that incorporation become feasible, more appropriate with 4G generation of the healthcare technology, that is healthcare 4.0, right? And what this will enable other than remote access, right? AI has got immense power, and overall it has not just enhanced the whatever the current point of care, it has added many more things. Okay, so basically you can say the future, when you say the futuristic, see, when I use futuristic word, that is bit subjective. You can understand this. Like say, where there is so much rural area where there is not even a PHC available, primary health center, the doctor is not available. The healthcare 1.0 is also a good approach that way. At least something is there, right? So that is they are at the stage of healthcare 1.0, where it is still a network that is 2G network. They would be at the net level of healthcare 2.0. And where there is a still 3G network in the corner of a world somewhere, they are still at 3G, right? So you can say, but almost we consider it 3G is the current date of era, and 4G is the futuristic that is healthcare network. Of course, it is not just futuristic, already existing in many times, many part of the world, right? But still we consider it to be futuristic, and the characteristic, the parameters which are there, which are still futuristic, they are still progressive, right? So if I were to describe the exactly the futuristic healthcare system, I would say it will start from healthcare 4.0, and it could be best described by in terms of this 4 P's. Okay, what are these 4 P's basically? So the first one is actually precision medicine. That is the first thing, right? Then it is predictive medicine. That is the second thing. Then it is preventive healthcare. That is the third thing. Patient empowerment. That is the fourth thing. Once again, I will go. What is it? It is about precision in medicine. I'll explain what does it mean. But just verbally, you can understand what could be the possible meaning of precision, right? It is more precision to the individualistic care. Okay, so that's how it is precision medicine. It is about predictive medicine. Predictive analytics has been used to, that is, get the futuristic knowledge of the disease. You don't have the disease today, but you may have given this. If you live this type of your lifestyle is like this, you are going to get within 1 or 2 years this particular disease. So change the lifestyle, change the food style, so that could possibly prevent the cure, prevent the disease occurrence or the progression of the disease, right? So that has generated predictive analysis that is given actually generate, that is going to preventive healthcare, and it is now becoming more and more patient centric. Patient has a role in the decision making, whether I want to have my surgery done or not. I have my say, right? Previously, I was completely ignorant. Now I can understand, try to understand from the given resources what what are the opinions, what are the possibilities, what are the pros, what are the short-term cons or long-term cons, possible effects. Yes. So that would make me more patient empowered. So these are the 4 P's that you can just say that describes the futuristic healthcare systems, right? And all, see, there is for healthcare generation 5, generation 6, somewhere going on, experimental basis. There is even healthcare 7.0 is being talked about. So that is all about futuristic healthcare. So basically, that would be extension of these 4 P's in some sense, right? So for example, if I say precision medicine, what are the characteristics of it? So basically, it is more individualized, right? More individualized medical treatments as well. That is diagnosis. Okay, diagnosis, treatments, or that has to be more and more individualized, patient centric, right? Uh, so this is actually a futuristic medicine. Basically, medical technology is developing. It has found that is what we have standardized the thing. That is, this is the blood pressure. This is the normal temperature range. Okay, so that is not so. That is, maybe it is possible the most of the mass belong to this, right? But exactly it is not going to be the same. That is the, it is quite possible that is the level of blood pressure, the low BP I say, high BP I say, systolic or diastolic blood pressures. So the measure, they may vary from person to person. For one person, what is normal is not absolutely normal for the other person, right? So that way, the futuristic parameters of that is the medical technology working on it. By the same time, or medicine working on it at the same time, how the technology would be depending. So that may be many genetics would be affecting. So whether one medicine will affect more to you or the other medicine will affect more to you. Whether there is going to be some side effects, that will depend upon your environment, your living style, what are the food you are taking, what is your that is sleeping cycle you are having, right? What are the genetics you are having. So all this is going to affect your outcome of the medicine, right? So whether you should be given a that is paracetamol twice a day or thrice a day, whether you should be that is a 5 mg is sufficient or you should be given 7.5 mg. So that everything that has to be patient centric. Okay, a lot of work is going on, and definitely AI has a specific role, not only in the point of care system, not only in deciding the patient care, but also in deciding whether a disease condition has been achieved or not, right? So whether it be a treatment or a disease detection, everywhere this futuristic technology are going to play an immense role, right? So that's how basically, so but ultimately this is electronics technology as a role. Again, this would be possible only because there are large number of electronics technologies, wearable devices, sensor data, individualistic sensor data is available, right? So that would define, that is what we consider as a normalcy is not a normal thing for one person, but something which was abnormal, but still a normal for some other person, right? So that will be possible only if there's a large amount of data from individuals is available. And now that has become reality because of wearable sensors. Wearable sensor data, once that is available in cloud, lot of data available. If that is, you use big data analytics, and that is that would be able to predict individualistic diagnostic conditions or individualistic treatment conditions or dosages, right? Recommend some, what should be the recommendation to the patient. So that would be available. So Manuel, that is healthcare or precision medicine is possible only not just due to medicine advancement in the medicine, that is but it is only possible because of the involvement of the electronics technology, wearable sensors, AI, IoT. So these are some of the major things which are working on it, right? And that is definitely will be helpful for the patient, that is treatment outcome improvement, right? It will enhance the patient experience, and that is faster recovery, less number of reactions. That is how it is going to help it. That is what about the precision medicine. What was the second thing? It was about predictive medicines, right? Predictive analytics. So this is again about AI and big data as a role to play here. Machine learning, deep learning has to play a role here. That is, it will predict about patient's current state, what are the progress and what are the futuristic, not just in epidemic, right? It is not just the product that is prediction about the epidemic or that is what is going to be the progression of the disease in a community. It is about individual, right? So if I say there is a knee osteoarthritis, right? Currently there is a porosis in the individuals, that is bones, actually they are more porous. Okay, so if one adopts this particular lifestyle, what will be his condition, his her condition after 1 year, 2 year, 5 year, 10 year, right? Instead of that, if we achieve this another type of lifestyle, right? If it prevents more walking, if it prevents more running, if it prevents more hard work, okay, what will the conditions? How we can extend his life of his bones, okay? So that would be about predictive analytics that is possible because of that. So healthcare technology will be moving more towards this. You are not just carrying the current disease. We must we must foresee that is what is going, what is the problem coming, and before it actually attacks it, let's cure it, let's solve it, so that we are least affected by this, right? So that is about prevent that basically gives a rise to the preventive medicines or preventive healthcare. As if the principle is not to cure the disease. Once it occurs, we are that's just curing it. It's not just prevent either the occurrence or the at least the progression of the disease, right? So both things have to be handled. That is just not to the curing the disease, but prevent it, right? To either occurrence completely or at least the progress, right? That is cancer going from the first stage, second stage to third stage, fourth stage, it becomes almost more and more difficult, right? Let it not get progress from the second stage to the third stage. What I can do, what the healthcare systems can offer for that type of patients, right? And again, there's a lot of role from electronics technology, right? Continuous monitoring, regular health monitoring, right? Even the cloud systems, they would detect, you may not have, say, we face as a means I was working on one problem with AIMS, Batinda. AIMS is All India Institute of Medical Sciences, doctors about knee osteoarthritis, and they had a very simple season, that is at PHC level, right? The patient, there is no expert, orthopedic doctors are not available, right? So the patients will come to the doctor only when their mobility is affected. Until that, they don't consider that we have some disease, right? So, and this is a normal tendency. If you can't come to the old agers or villagers or maybe even normal human, that is, we don't want to accept that we are possibly moving towards a futuristic disease, right? We are possibly going towards cardiovascular disease. We don't want to accept, right? And there's a normal tendency, right? So in that case, what will happen? Our daily wearable sensor data that goes to the cloud and there runs an predictive algorithm, right? That takes care, that is your health parameters are day by day, that is moving, that is deteriorating, and you must take care. So they will provide a sense, they will provide a prediction and message to you, that is alarm to you, that is, yes, rise, awake, and go towards the positive lifestyle, or maybe adopt some minor drugs, whatever is possible, right? So a lot of that is role for the electronics available in preventive healthcare also, right? So precision healthcare, predictive analytics in healthcare, then preventive healthcare, and then the fourth P, that is patient empowerment, right? Patient is now not dumb. He has an active role. He has not to be just follow the sharks which are there, marketing sharks. Okay, I have a due role to the medical professionals. They are equivalent to God as our culture believes, and I also consider it that. But at the same time, you know that there is a corporate that has been entered into the medical technology because it's highly, the cost is increasing day by day. So now it is more of a corporate game, not just an individualistic doctors, right? So we have to take care, right? We have to take multiple opinions. We have to take opinion from the online systems, right? So they are there. Refer to the active involvement. So patient has to be aware. Patient has to know what are going to be the pros, what are going to be the cons, and where that is, what are going to be the cons, what are going to be the future effect or defects I may face. But at the same time, it should not overshoot, right? It should not over means because as such, it will not be an expert talking to, we are trying to be aware of it, not we are expert, right? So the thing is, but still patient has a role that has to be accepted terminology in healthcare fourth generation. Patient has a this role in decision making, right? Participation is there, right? So that's possible again due to because now futuristic technologies are there, models are, they will explain you that is whether how your it is future stage of this disease could be this. Under patient could understand this is my future, better to avoid it. But previously only doctors were able to understand what will be the futuristic stage. Now even the patient would be able to understand that is if I don't go for this surgery, possibly I will have this is my future, right? So I have to go for surgery, or whether I won't, I will allow, I'm okay with whatever the futuristic condition. So that has to be taken care. So these are the 4 P's, right, of the that is futuristic healthcare technologies, and they are extended. Okay. Yes, so let it not be bombarding one-sided. So I have a quiz for you. So what are the 4 P's for the of the futuristic healthcare system? I have already mentioned 2, precision medicine. Second is a blank. Third is preventive healthcare. And fourth is a blank. So I won't answer from the rest 2 P's. The precision medicine and preventive medicine healthcare, I already said. What are the rest 2 P? So please write in your chat boxes. That is answer. I need your answer. I need your active participation. So whether you understand what I'm saying is passing to you or not. So that also want to understand. Yes. So if I can see this chats, yes. Yeah. So your answers awaited. Yes. I can look to your yes, are you there? So there were 4 P's. Very nice, Jeet. You are correct. That is first one is precision medicine, and second one that was missing, that was predictive analytics. Very nice. The role of predictive analytics in healthcare. Very nice. And Krishnendu Das has added the fourth also. The third one was preventive healthcare, and the fourth one was empower patient empowerment. Very nice, Jeet and Krishnendu Das. So at least 2 answers. Any more would be ready, but maybe there may be there are many issues, your typing speed, or maybe internet at your end, or maybe you are not aware of the Zoom platform where I can chat, where I can answer. Anyway, so that's a good response from all the responses. You are responsive. At least I can have there's some responses. Very good. Fine. Sorry. Yes. Fine. So if I move further, that is, so 4 P's in the futuristic healthcare, and the definite role electronics technology has to play in that. Okay. So if I move to even healthcare 5.0, that is also significant because 5G network is not a futuristic, it is already existing technology. And at least in India, we do have 5G networks. So let's talk about that. What will be the effect of it on healthcare, right? With a 5G, you can have enormous data communication speed. And now not just the real-time communication as we are discussing today. It's not just that I can have AR projection, that is augmented reality projections, virtual reality projections. If you have heard last year, or maybe even last year also, many IITs, they held their convocation using virtual reality. That is, there was a stadium created. People were during lockdown, they were at their own homes, and the guests were also there. Guests would be doing using virtual reality. Everybody were conferred the degrees, and that was a very nice experience if you have attended that ceremonies. Anyway, so AR, VR, that is augmented reality and virtual realities, they would be now. That is okay. At least you would have that is you have understood this. Many that is a shopping mall. They do have this seven senses or 4 senses, extended senses. How that is virtual reality basically. So now they will be part of our day-to-day communication. At least healthcare technologies will be highly using it, right? For example, I want to do that is in your that is spine. I want to do surgery in the third, between third and fourth. There is a gap, and I want to do some surgical treatment. Some plates will be fused, these and that. How I can explain this? Better I have an AR or VR model So I will explain that is there is a spine, and there what I'm going to do exactly the surgical procedure, that would be clear. And the fear of surgery, that would be removed, right? That is learning of the students at medical colleges and hospitals, that would be through AR/VR. There are not many instruments working on the actual patients. They can first be handled with the AR/VR. Many times you already know that is there are many startups have come up which explains which actually train you for your driving license. That is before you go for the actual car, that is work on the AR/VR. So that is basically when virtual reality has been added, you feel like human touch is there. We are talking exactly together, and as if we are nearby on the same platform, we are discussing, that will be a feeling. So now the patient will have, will not have the fear that is somebody far one is looking me, as if one is exactly I'm actually attending the discussion with the I'm attending the doctors, and doctors is attending me. He is checking my health parameters. That's what he will feel. That virtual reality will make it realize. Anyway, so this will have more compassionate treatment. Patient will be more open to the doctors. Actual problems will come out. History will be taken it properly, right? So that has to add many more things. Basically, the human touch will be added in this. That will actually lead to advancement in the 4Ps. With 4Ps, they are futuristic, more precision medicine, more predictive possible, predictive analytics possible, more preventive healthcare is possible, and more patient-centric treatment is possible, right? All the 4 pills will go simultaneously for healthcare 5.0. Okay, healthcare 6.0 is almost speculative, and it is still in laboratories, right? So basically, it is actually encompassing more higher, that is level current technology, which are still in test level. For example, nanotechnology, as far as nanomedicines sectors, nanotechnology is already realistic, but nanomedicines, okay, the experiment going on. So that would be the part of healthcare 6th generation, right? Regenerative medicines, brain computer interface, right? Ultimately, it is the brain which is sending the controls to the organs, okay? So whether that things could be affected, whether that could be means if there is a paralysis in the hand, basically brain signals are not reaching, somehow that could be cured. Artificial hand could be there, but whether the brain could be sending it some control, it could be more smoother, as if you think, and at the same time, instead of see, it's imagine that is actually what the role. For example, you do have an artificial hand, right? I want to move, so I will have some buttons to play with, that is I want to grip, so I will have to play some buttons with, that is to grip. But now if there is a brain computer interface is proper, you think it and I grab it, so as if it is a normal working, right? I'm a normal person. So that's how the healthcare 6.0, that is highly futuristic, and it has a role that is from brain computer, that is the chips which are going to be incorporated in human bodies. Human body should be able to match that. It should not react to that as a third party agent, that is the extra agent. So it should work with that. So that's why biomaterial is required. So there's a lot of work going on research at the research laboratories, of course. So that has not been a feasibility at the mass level. So when it comes to feasible solutions at a mass level, that will be healthcare 6.0, right? So again, there are a lot of cutting edge technology which has to play a role. All nanotechnology, nanoelectronics has to play a role, right? Regenerative, again, brain computer interface, that is electronics hardware is there, that has to play a role. Of course, now say as you go further, all the technologies will be more and more integrated. You cannot exactly bifurcate, right? From the electronics, the advancement came, that has computer become separate, electronics becomes, from electronics computer becomes separate, completely separate. And now further from electronics, maybe semiconductor technology will be different, that is computer vision will be different, right? There are robotics will be different part. So all these are the futuristic technologies and role to play. Healthcare 7.0, or maybe you can see the future points in the healthcare. They are more towards connecting spiritual parameters, mental parameters. It is more about integrating it with the physical health, mental health, the spiritual health, how they could be integrated, right? So there are some things. Okay, so these are some of the futuristic points, okay, healthcare points. Now I'll discuss some realistic that is things already going on, right? You may be aware of some of the technologies which are already making a buzz all around the world, and that is I will lead you to the Google AI for healthcare, right? I will discuss two projects from Google AI. One project that is actually predicting heart diseases through retinal scans. Okay, so this was Sundar Pichai that started, which he was involved in this particular project. And basically, what is the logic? Logic is that behind that retina, eye retina, there is a thick, that is actually blood vessels are there. Thin, that is the thick blood vessels are there, and they carry the blood flow. And as the heart is affected, the blood flow in this, blood vessels, that is highly affected. The patterns could be used to track the, as if you are, see, heart is moving, what is it? Is pumping the blood. So that pumping, that is reaches to every all the vessels. Okay, so retina, basically, if you take a scan of it, okay, so that scan, that is because the scanning is on superficial skin, it should capture the blood flow in the vessels which are below it. So eye part is much more sensitive and much more clear. That is there. You can much more easily take the camera scans, and that could be basically uh, that is could be predicting cardiovascular diseases around it. So that was the logic, and it is almost done project, and it will be reality maybe within very few, maybe 6 months or 1 year. It is already will be out, right? And basically the success of this, that lead to another success, which was not, see, this was almost known and there was some logic behind, right? But the next technology, which was again based on the eye technology, that is diabetes at detection, that is automated retinal disease assessment, basically diabetes. Okay, through this was actually there is indirect outcome of the previous project, right? People come to that is not on the cardiology, that is there are many other health parameters which will be available to us from the, even that is something very that is looking means quite vague. That is gender could be predicted from this eye scan, that is age could be predicted from the eye scan, that is normal diseases, that is disease status could be predicted, diabetic conditions could be predicted from it, cardiology condition could be predicted from this eye scans. It in itself is a that is a biometric, that is each eye scan will be different from the other. So there are a lot many things which could be done on a single eye scan. Okay, so there's a futuristic technology which is all together coming out a new vertical. See, we would have heard that is our Indian Vaidyas, just looking at the eyes, they were able to treat the person, or they were diagnosed, they were able, and this is coming out as a reality in the 21st generations using futuristic technologies, AI, ML, deep learning, big data, basically, right? So this is what going to be. Yes. So these are one more example I will go for. That is, this is a startup basically. Of course, the startup was supported by Siemens Healthineers, Siemens technology, and it has health division, which is called Siemens Healthineers. What is it? Basically, breast cancer, that is a very highly occurring, that is one of the major cancer among women. Okay, and it is the reason for the early death in many early age women. Okay, so now what happens basically, it will be simply actually a tumor will be there, and it will be most of the time it will be painless. Okay, so usual mentality, people neglect it until it grows too big, right? That it will be having some visible impact. It will be such an impact that is physiological system has started disturbing. people don't go to the patients. Okay, because there are more reasons also. That is the diagnosis, the cancer, breast cancer diagnosis will be possible through basically MRI is there. Okay, and that is MRIs are too costly, right? So that is radiation is there that would affect the body, right? So people won't prefer it. Again, that is a mammography is there, which is too basically painful. Basically, again, it is a that is radiation is there. Also, with radiation, it is highly painful. The breast is going to be that is highly pressed, and then so point is there was one more solution that was found. That is basically the logic is that the cancerous cells, okay, wherever there is a cancer, cancer means what? It is actually compared to the normal cells, they are the degenerative cells, and they do have very high rate of growth. If normal cells doubles in 7 days, this will be in the 7 minutes, they will be double. So you can imagine within 1 day, 2 day, how 1 to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, 8 to 16. So how much fast the progression will be. So what happens basically, the tumor area that will increase and that will keep a less space, less oxygen, less food for the rest of the cells, and that's how the other cells they get damaged until unless you remove the whole part. Okay, so chemotherapy, surgical surgery, that is what the solution is, right? Now, how the early detection could be possible? So early detection is possible only, that is one solution that was possible through thermography. Thermography is more activity, the nice more temperature compared to now that temperature normalize or normal touch sense cannot feel. But the electronic technologies, the AI, thermal sensors and thermal camera, whatever the picture has been captured, that will be processed through image processing. That could capture actually these things, right? So eye breast exam that has been actually one startup which has come up. Actually, it is in US, right? It is not in but they are also going to capture the third world countries, basically Southeast Asia, right? But there is a scope for further that a lot many companies could be possible. They've got a very good budget that is, has helped them, supported their budget, and they're coming up with a very small device, which handheld device, which you can just that is scan, and it will come to understand whether there is a breast cancer or not, right? So go to the village, arrange that is ask all the young age women to come, right, and just scan it. It is a very low cost, so that you get a preventive cure. That is mass scanning is possible, that whether one is going to have, whether one is having a tumor which is cancerous or not. Early diagnosis is possible only through mass scanning. So in the first generation, first stage of cancer, second stage of cancer, only you are detecting it, right? You don't wait for the third or fourth stage until and unless it has already affected the physiological parameters. It is before that you are catching it. So that is useful for the early detection. And that's how the technology is going to help the masses. Okay, specifically Southeast Asia, India, including India and African countries, right? So this is how these are the startups. Okay. There are many companies you may be interested in, many companies which are working on this. Microsoft, Tibra, that is Ciox, that is Siemens. I talk about Path AI, Tempus, Biosymmetries, Pfizer, which are working, Beta Bionics, Bionic Eyes, and that's how. So they are working on this, right? Fine. Say, we'll talk about once again the electronic technology. Maybe I would have touched something more, something less based on my background, right? So just looking at wearable sensors, there is a lot of scope still. Physiological parameters, how they can lead to the that is vital health parameters, right? There's a lot of work going on. There's a lot of activity going on, and there are more. There is a lot many has to do. There are many startups to come up with are based on the wearable sensors. They will diagnose preventive care possible, right? So there are many startups to come. Is a scope for this, right? Internet of medical things, not just IoT, but extended for medical things, IoMT, Internet of medical things, your biosensors and health sensors, they could be producing some data. Imaging centers, they are producing many imaging data. They should be stored in the cloud. Patient-wise, it should be recorded. Okay, somewhere only the specific, there are required. Again, when it is stored in somewhere in the cloud, It should require data privacy and security. Blockchain has to be used there, right? How it can be more and more secure, right? AI has a major role, that is the medical image analysis, disease diagnosis, treatment planning, everything has to be. So these are the futuristic techniques. Again, already I said AR, VR, robotics, that has to take a role, right? Robotic surgery, robotic has to play a lot of role, not just in robotic surgery, which is now possible for knee and many other things, but it is still possible in many other things, that is heart diseases, or maybe there are many other places where robotic surgery could be possible. Rehabilitation analysis, there are social robotics possible, which will help a patient care. Patient who is actually having a septic disease, that is like corona, robot can move nearby, not that is individual, right? They cannot go nearby, but robot can move. So whether they could be used social medical robots, robotic prosthetics are possible. Prosthetic means surgical organs, basically, right? So that organs could be possible. That so these are all robotics as the data security and privacy. A lot of data on the cloud, how that could be secured. Augmented reality, virtual reality. As I said, there is a big market and big possibilities in this. So these are again, there is one more coming is there are from different technologies working, different startups are coming up, different work people, universities are working on this, research centers are working on it. They need to get standardized, right? So standardization of these sensors, sensor data, how they could be stored, how they could be recorded, how they could be monitored, who should be monitoring, who should be available, that is authenticated, how to authenticate, how to. So these are all many questions and a lot of work on this and a lot of futuristic technology waiting for you. So specifically, I would say that is what are the technologies at LPU we're working with, specifically in the School of Electronics and Electrical Engineering, right? So we do have wearable sensors, people working on wearable sensors, right? We do have people working on Internet of Medical Things. We have specialization in BTech in electronics, specialization in IoT, right? Which are, see, IoT is again, BTech in IoT is one branch we do have. And in BTech IoT, we do have one specialization, that is IO in medical technologies, right? So AI, that is, I myself is heading signal and image processing, right? Medical imaging is part of electronics, right? And there, where AI is actually used for any applications. AI is no more just CSE or for that people. AI is going to be applied. Who understands better the images? Who understand better? See, there is some primary, that is now AI is going to apply to the mechanical perspective also. So it will, whether it will be better someone doing a mechanical engineer doing that, or whether a computer science is doing it. So world is now bifurcating, right? Wherever there is actual problem, mechanical engineer having a knowledge of programming, working on mechanical problem is better than computer scientist working on fundamental problem from mechanical engineering. So this is what is the new logic adapted. So computer science jobs are now going to be bifurcated, divided into electronics engineer, mechanical engineer, civil engineer, biologist, pharmacist, many were. Even the doctors. I have my friend who is working in, he has done MBBS from AIMS, Delhi, All India, and now he is working at Yale University on medical informatics, right? Anyway, so that is a lot of technologies going on. So we do have wearable people working on wearable devices. We are working on IO on medical devices. AIMG is most of that. That is, we do have specialization, a special scheme on that, right? We do have robotics division, special scheme on that is BTech in robotics, and their specialization is there. That is medical robotics, right? So there is a lot of data privacy. Our students are working, offered blockchain or data security, one particular yes. So all these technologies people are working with. Okay. I was supposed to give some discussion on what are the problems myself be working on, but very now the time is almost ending. So just I will just go through. Myself is working on knee osteoarthritis progression detection using X-ray images. So this is I'm working with a team of doctors at AIMS Patinda, mainly Dr. Kavin Khatri, who is an orthopedic and assistant professor, team of students, and we have collected data from AIMS Patinda, and we are working on this diagnosis. So there's a big project going on. on this particular topic. My students, these were result I was to discuss, but no topic. I'll just mention the titles. Okay. So one of my PhD student is working on breast cancer detection using thermography. Just now I discussed there was one startup on it. Just it is a day that's 1 week before that news was highlighted everywhere in the media actually. So that is she's working on that. Another student is working on heart rate detection from face video. That is again helpful for the remote diagnosis. Basically, again on the face, there are blood vessels are there, blood veins are there, blood is flowing. So maybe naked eye cannot detect the blood variations, but through image processing, we can do that. And heart rate, we are able to detect, heart rate variabilities, we are able to find, but it will not be exactly same as the ECG, right? Somewhat variations that we are working on. Fine. So this is what I wanted to discuss. One of the students working on denoising of real world images, medical images, basically using deep learning and NLP filtering. Fetal distress, that is from fetal distress classroom, that is a fetus condition by monitoring the that is the CTG data, right? So this is what the work on. I'm working on digital twins for speech, that is based on speech. There is many health records where can we generate the twin of speech, that is speech synthesized speech from the text to speech, or maybe one who is deceased, who is not properly able to speak, can that speech be exactly translated? So that's what we are working on. Anyway, so thank you very much. And thank you very much for listening, being passionate. And now any queries, if I'm open to that. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. First of all, before we move on to the queries, thank you so much, sir, for coming in
Thank
and
you.
for sharing your experience, your knowledge with us.
My
And
pleasure.
yes, sir. So we have a question from Jeet Pandit. And before I take this question, I want all the attendees, if you have any other query, you can raise your hand or you can just write in the chat box so that we can allow you to talk to our expert. So, sir, this question is from Jeet Pandit. It says, if all these advancements are done in the healthcare system, wouldn't it be more expensive to the people who do not, have that, balanced economic situation with them? So,
Yeah,
yeah.
very good question. I think I appreciate the question. Actually, I'm thinking behind it. See, actually, that is what the technology is trying to reach there. Something, the treatment or the cure, which was very individualized, very costlier, and very, it could be given to only a specific type of person. Now it has to be generalized. It has to be made for all. Okay. So that's where surgeon, that is specialist, cannot reach to the every village, but can we reach, can we connect them still? Patient is at the remote location in the village, and the doctor, the expert, is somewhere in the part of US or maybe part of Delhi. Okay, can they be connected? That's where the role of AR, VR, and remote counseling. Okay, so actually we are working with the futuristic healthcare system is trying to make it that is healthcare available to all at feasible, that is feasible, more and more cheaper, more and more advanced, more and more precise. So everywhere we are trying to gain. That is the motto of healthcare technology.
Yeah, I think we are balancing two things. That is, one is out of reach for the people who could not go to certain places. They can just connect to the best of the faculties or best of the experts within the field. So
Yes,
this,
I would add one experience. Okay, if you
yeah,
go to the doctor physically, what is the that is consultation fee? Just check it. That will be almost 500 rupees, 1000 rupees, depending on the doctor's specialization and city. Right now, you go to the remote location on the platform, that is Precto, that is Liberate, or Tata MG has that is 1mg
one.
platform is there. You go to there and find out what is the consultation rate. Just 50 rupees, 100 rupees, minimal cost. So that is
And
even reducing the cost,
right,
because now
and
you can reach to the masses, basically. Yes.
correct, correct. And they do not have to move anywhere when they're sitting at their home and just getting the consultation done.
Yes.
Sir, this is another question from Venkateshwar Reddy.
Okay.
So it says, I mean, it is just normal question, sir. Is the laptop will be mandatory while they come and join this particular course? Would they be requiring this laptop?
Yes, sir. As far that LPU policy is concerned, LPU policy is there. One has to be joining with the means one has to have one's own laptop. Maybe it may first 6 months you can be without laptops, but gradually you should have it, right? It may not be required suddenly, but because why it is so? Because see, ultimately everything is moving on the laptop. Your class material, your assignments, your tutorials, your exams, everything will be online. You have lot many, because we do follow not just physical teaching, we do blended teaching, right? So there may be virtual classes, there may be so lot of material which you are sharing. So as if everything is in your hand, you can find it more convenient to access at your as and your time. You will be more efficient understanding the things. Yes, so that's why we have that policy that is, but may not be exactly at when you enter. Maybe you can take some time, and one semester is sufficient. Maybe not all subjects, maybe more required in few specific subjects, right? Again, actually, LP is offering some that is stipend or maybe some that is financial assistance also in that case. Yeah.
Definitely, sir. And I think it is useful for the students also, when they have their own laptop, they can actually
Yes, that
explore
that's
more.
right. That's why it is like this. It is actually LPU at everywhere. Actually, it is student centric. It is study centric, right? So more education, more study. That is what is the final outcome require, right? So that's what the policy will be. Yes.
Definitely, sir. Thank you so much. Okay.
And this
So
predictive analytics be used to detect genetic uh,
issues by
issues
gadget.
by any gadget. Okay. So genetic testing, that is, of course, predictive analysis is used there also, because genetic data will be means will be having lakhs and crores of bits, basically means the sequential data. So definitely there is the analytic softwares are there, and they are working with that. People are, but may not be that software be available very much common. Only thing is that maybe there may be some free versions available, but definitely it will be test bed, because everyone cannot even understand what is the genomic sequence mean, how to interpret it. But yes, there is predictive analysis had a definite role there also, and it is still in work. It is there in work.
Right. Thank you, sir. Krishnendu, you wanted to have a direct chat with our expert. If you have any other question, we can allow you to talk. Kindly raise your hand if you want to ask any
I
other question.
don't mind giving my mobile number to all. I get the 987948344. So this is my mobile number. Anybody would like to chat personally, I am ready. I don't mind. Okay. So in fact, I would like to discuss anyone with anyone. Fine.
You
Yeah.
have the questions, you have the queries, you can call our expert here. I believe, sir, the queries, we have done with the queries. There are no more queries. Thank you, sir. Thank you so
Thank
much
you. Thank
for
you very much.
joining in.
Thank
And
you.
at last, I would want to say thank to all the participants also for joining, for giving in your inputs, for questioning. I mean, they're all appreciative. So with this, I take your leave here, students. And before I take the leave, sir, I just want to take your permission to show them little about the site as well, like how they can take the admission if they want to, and what, I mean, where they can find the different webinars as well. So can I?
Fine. That's fine. That's fine. That's fine.
Okay.
I would close my video and audio in that case. Fine.
Yeah, yeah. No issue, sir.
Thank you. Thank you very much, participants. Thank you.
So, to all the students, I just wanted to show you little about the site, as in where you can access all the webinars that are already upcoming or that have been happened in the past. So what you can do is you simply go to the site, that is lpu.in, and once you enter this site, the interface that will be, this is the interface that will come, right? So you go to directly to the admissions, and once you go to the admissions, you will be seeing there at the left hand side, this is LPU's EduFair webinars page. You click on that, and we have different webinars that are enlisted. You can participate, you can register for them. They're all free, and see, they're all free. And I just want you all to know that this session and all the sessions are recorded, and they will be uploaded on YouTube. So how you can access the YouTube recording, I'm going to show you in a while now. So these are all the upcoming webinars, and you can see the past webinars as well. So you can see all the webinars that are happened, and check, and you see the recording. So basically, let's say you want to see this webinar's YouTube recording, you simply go to the webinar and click on view YouTube recording. Hence, your YouTube will be started of the session. So I think so. I've given you quite a brief as to what is needed to be done in order to for you to take or register for any webinar. Okay. Now, if you want to take any admissions, you simply go to the admissions. You go to the program. Let's say you can go to the any program, undergraduate, graduate, after post graduation, after 10th, etc., etc. And after that, you simply go to the regular programs. And just in a moment, I think network. Yeah. So once you go to the programs, there will be disciplines that would be visible to you. So once you go to the disciplines, you can choose any of the discipline, and after that you can go to the course. So let's say okay, so we have different disciplines here, and let's say I'm going to take this mathematics and statistics. So if I choose the discipline, we have the courses, and once I click on the course, we have different details about that. So program details actually gives you the eligibility criteria, okay, and fee structure you can directly check it from here only. And if you want to apply, you simply click on the apply now option, and there are some requirements, and after that you can fill in your form or the course that you want to. So I hope that I have given you a basic idea as to what is needed to be done in order for you to take admission here in LPU. So if you have any query, you can post in the chat box or Q&A box. And if not, then I would like to take your permission to wrap this webinar here. And at last, I would want to thank you for joining in, for giving in time, for staying here for this long. So meet you soon in the next webinar. Until then, explore our site, that is lpu.in, and go and register for the webinars that we have already listed. Thank you so much for joining in.